It's me, Gillian. Who's that sitting there? Oh, is it gonna be a cutscene? What? I gotta load disc 1? There we go. It's been a while, Gillian Seed. You're Elijah Madner. I know, I've grown old, but the fact that you don't recognize me proves you really don't remember a thing, do you, Dr. Seed? Doctor? What's he talking about, Gillian? I don't know. Fine. Allow me to help you remember that. Let's dig up that dreadful past. But you may regret hearing my story. In a way, this may be better for you, not remembering my past. What happened? It all started 50 years ago. Around that time, the world's military equilibrium had started to falter. There were rumors of attempts by the IAEA to broker a ban on production of fissile materials for use in nuclear arms. The world's great military powers, including America, were engaged in fierce military competition over the outer atmosphere. The tyrants in the Kremlin, however, took a different approach. They were trying to gain military supremacy through entirely different means. They devised a plan so dreadful that nobody could ever have imagined. In those days, communist countries the world over were facing economic crisis. The survival of socialism was at stake. We were struggling. And that's the point where this plan, that no sane person could have come up with, began taking shape. You mean replacing the leaders of enemy countries with marionettes of the Kremlin in order to manipulate their politics and economy, and thus implant communism from the inside? A snatch plan? Didn't even need to do that. Exactly, Gillian. Is it starting to sound familiar yet? So, the most brilliant scientists from all over the world were gathered in order to develop the Snatchers. At the head of this was the team we were part of, the Frankenstein Project team. This team was led by my father, Petrovich Madnar, and consisted of 4 scientists. The one in charge of robotic engineering was my father, Petrovich. I was responsible for genetic engineering and molecular biology. Jamie was in charge of behavioral physiology and psychopathology, and finally specialized in morphological psychology. Were you, Gillian? Was you, probably should be. Initially, we worked on the project at Yale Academic Gorodok in Novosibirsk, but at a later stage we were moved to the Kremlin. This was in the middle of the public demand for democratization of our country, brought forth by Perestroika and Glasnost. Akademgorov, the Kremlin? In those days, I was completely devoted to my research and to Jamie. Jamie? Yes, Dr. Jamie Learning, who would eventually become Jamie Seed. On the phone, I was still young, a genetic engineering researcher at the start of his career. Jamie was a behavioral physiologist who assisted my father, Petrovich. I was enchanted by her beauty, captivated by her smile. She had this something that women of the Eastern Bloc didn't have. My closed young heart gradually opened up to her. Those were blissful times, Gillian. Every day was perfect, watched over by Jamie and receiving my father's trust. I zealously gave it my all to finish my research. However, even that modest bit of happiness wasn't to be mine very long. That was because of you, Gillian. You showed up. Because of you, everything started to crumble. Everything that had ever meant anything to me. Everything I ever lived for. You snatched it all away. I was in Moscow. My father's name. How do you... Oh, that's random. My father's name. How do you... You and Jamie fell in love. Were united in marriage. And had a son. Ah, yes. This happened exactly in the year of the approach of Halley's Comet. That comet, to you, must have been a symbol of bliss. To me, however, it was more like a symbol of degeneration. It was around this time that insanity started taking a hold over me. I have a son? Halley's Comet? You're just now figuring this out, Seed? Then that decisive day came, June 6th, 1981. Father suddenly started talking about appointing you as sub-leader of the Snatcher Project. You, who didn't join us until later, passing me over, me, his own son. He was about to give away my work and pride to you, the detestable man who had already taken Jamie away from me. And it was then that I understood. I finally understood the way my father felt about me. My mother passed away while giving birth to me. It was a difficult delivery, and she had always had a weak constitution. I realized that my father held me responsible for her death, and despised me for it. My birth had already destroyed the bonds of trust within my family. And then my father, who already disregarded me as his son, also abandoned me as a scientist. Even though I grew up without much love from my father, you cannot imagine how shocking this was to me at my young age. It was then that I decided I would execute an insane plan, one I had been advancing in secret. that time, the bioroids were already 80% completed. The naked bodies were finished. But everything related to the artificial skin was still incomplete. This was the area Jamie and I were responsible for. With the artificial protein technology of those days, full-scale cell synthesis was extremely hard to accomplish. Research of this kind would take many years. I'm getting tired. Originally, the scenario of the Snatch Plan was to quickly snatch countries, one by one. In other words, we would have had to snatch all the citizens of a country or city in just one night. Therefore, alongside the Snatch Plan, a bioweapon was developed at the Chernobyl laboratory. A bioweapon that guaranteed the instant death of all citizens of a country. The RA-011 virus. Lucifer Alpha. Given my position on the project, it was easy for me to blow up the laboratory and to scatter the Lucifer Alpha into the atmosphere. Amid the chaos caused by the catastrophe, my father, who realized immediately what I had done, escaped to America, where there are no cats. No. The fruit of your and Jamie's love, your son, was placed in the custody of the American government. The three of us who had been unable to escape in time, Jamie, you, and I, retreated to the underground shelter of the Kremlin and entered a cryogenic sleep, hoping to remain safe from the Lucifer Alpha. We were to remain asleep until the atmosphere would be clear of the Lucifer Alpha. To determine when this would be, we left behind a robot to observe the atmosphere and wake us when the time was right. But over the course of 10 years, the Lucifer Alpha had undergone natural mutation. However, the cryogenic unit's automated resuscitation malfunctioned. Subsequently, in September 2039, 50 years later, Gillian and Jamie were coincidentally found by the 15th Siberian Surgical Team. However, one of the pods was empty, so the only ones rescued were Jamie and Gillian. They didn't find a third person. Gillian and Jamie had completely lost their memories because of the extended period of cryogenic sleep. The military authorities sent the two of them to Junker so they might find out about their true identities. Am I wrong? That was petite metal. You are wrong. In fact, the automated resuscitation did work properly. There was no malfunction. It woke me up after 10 years, alright. A bit earlier than you and Jamie, wasn't it, Gillian? Everything went as I had planned. However, the real challenge still lay ahead. Initially, I had planned to resuscitate Jamie and finish the Snatcher together with her, leaving you to sleep forever, Gillian. But I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. after seeing Jamie's face so peacefully asleep. Apart from that, back then I just didn't have the power to persuade Jamie. My plan had been to dominate the world using the Snatchers and live together with Jamie. When I realized that time had not yet arrived, I set the timers of your pods to infinity. You would never wake up again. That's insane. The next 40 years, I spent day and night working on the development of the artificial skin of the Snatcher in that dark, lonely Kremlin basement. Day after day, without anyone to keep me company, without seeing any sunlight, without tasting the freshness of the seasons. However, that peacefully sleeping Jamie was always by my side. I spent those 40 years talking to Jamie, down in that dark Kremlin basement. That's really too sad. And then, 3 years ago, I finally finished my research. I was going slow. From the very outset, I had chosen the city where Jamie was born, Neo-Kobe City, as a testing ground. So she's a blonde, but she was born in Neo-Kobe? Man, Japan's not what it used to be in the 2030s. It was meant to be a test case to assess the effectiveness of the Snatchers. Maybe she's not a natural blonde. Neo-Kobe is cut off from the rest of the world. So it's ideal for simulating the effects on a small state. It being a racial melting pot allows for testing on a wide variety of subjects. Oh, I see. So it's like Detroit, or Chicago, or New York. Furthermore, the Japanese culture itself is full of suspicion. But while I was away, the two of you were found by the 15th Siberian search team. Once again, Jamie disappeared from my sight. The experiment in the city was, as you know, a complete success. Although the defect in the artificial skin was discovered, the effectiveness of the Snatchers was beyond my wildest expectations. Humans are so fragile. No matter how strong the bonds of trust between them, just a little doubt is enough for them to break down completely. Remember that Bioroid panic? It's no different from... Hey Zane, welcome back. It's no different from the witch hunting in the Middle Ages. No matter how much progress is made with science, we humans doubt each other, hate each other, and kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than tools that bring out these aspects. They are a mirror that reflects the human heart, not murder weapons or anything of the sort. Elijah, If the Snatchers are a mirror to mankind, they're no less a mirror to your own heart. You dare lecture me? You haven't changed, even after 50 years. But you may be right. I use the Snatchers in an attempt to rule the world. However, I too am a human infected by the bacterium called doubt, which is so typical for humans. Suspicion brought forth the Snatchers, and now it's this doubt that torments me. I didn't trust humans, Gillian. So the Snatchers don't trust humans either. Not even me, their god. Are you saying you lost control over them? Yes, Gillian. The Snatchers don't do my bidding anymore. They are operating on their own initiative for their own objectives. I've been confined here for a long time already. They sensed my doubt and tried to erase their own. You see, the doubt that is inside them comes from me. And their twisted idea is to remove all seeds of doubt from the entire world. The extinction of mankind. Genocide. They, created by doubt, are now taking action to get rid of their own doubt. The Level 2 plan they are currently advancing is also a plan they conceived themselves. Their brain is in the biological laboratory opposite this room. It's the Master Snatcher, born from their own doubt. He is the one overseeing all their hostile plans. The Master is also the one who invented the concept of a new artificial skin resistant to ultraviolet rays. He developed the artificial skin making use of theories we couldn't even imagine and peculiar to inorganic beings. If they complete this, they will no longer need to be ruled by doubt because of a subnormal skin. In other words, if humans no longer exist, their doubt will clear for the first time, and they can become true human beings. Until then, they will likely keep on snatching the human race. Gillian, how long are you planning to allow this fool to keep on babbling? Random, calm down. We don't have the time to waste on this old croc's nonsense. Who are you? Me? I'm Petrovich Madnar's son, Random Hajile. Petrovich's son? Random Hajile? Ah, Random Hajile. Ha 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 ha! What's so bloody funny about that? Gillian, this old man, he's lost it. Ah, yes, I see. Elijah, what's the matter? Gillian, he's a bioroid. My father, Petrovich, created him. What? Enough of your nonsense. I'm human. Take a look at his arm and see for yourself, Gillian. Random? What's that? What? What's this? Ah! Random. What the hell? This has to be some kind of mistake. What? What? You didn't know? Gillian. Gillian, help me! I'm human! This is a dream. It has to be a dream. Random, you really... It can't be true. I also have memories. He's a copy of me, Gillian. A robot created by Chet Petrovich to look like me. His memory is nothing but a transplant of mine. Ah, yes, Random. You probably remember getting motion sickness in an attraction in an amusement park when you were 5 years old. It appears you do, right? Random Hachi there is Elijah Madnar read backwards. Father developed an anti-snatcher bioroid to foil my plans. Typically something from my father, the dumb old fool. I guess that should be typical of my father. I wanted to become a better scientist than my father, no matter what. Ever since I was a child, I grew up watching nothing but my father's back. I did everything I could to try and surpass him. This is kind of hurting my throat. But all I could manage in 40 years' time was a defective artificial skin. And Father Petrovich Madnar created a bioroid that is so perfect that it isn't even aware of its own nature. I admit my defeat. Clearly, I failed in exceeding my father. Random Hachile? Elijah Madnar? It can't be. It can't be true. So, Random Hachile, my father used my name. That man who seemed unable to make even the slightest joke. Elijah, Petrovich said something to me. Wherever you are, and whatever you may be doing, you are still my son. My son's faults are my faults. I must get my son back from the clutches of the devil. Lots of words in this part. Yes, that's what he said. My father said that. What I would have given to hear those words a bit earlier. I'm tired. I snatched people, but perhaps my own soul was snatched by the devil. Random copy of me. There's nothing to be said about. With me gone, you will become the real Elijah Madnar. It's better to live as a machine with a soul than as a body full of evil. Do you understand? Don't doubt it. Things you believe will all become true. Look at me, doubting, hating, despising humans. The only thing I believed in was my own suspicion. Elijah? Gillian, Jamie is being held in the artificial skin laboratory in the back. They won't do anything to her until they finish the artificial skin. Hurry. You'll be there in time if you go now. Gillian, you and Jamie may be a good match after all. Listen, the Master Snatcher disperses Lucifer Beta. It's an improved version of Lucifer Alpha, without the antidote El Angel. No human can ever beat him. And not Elf. El Angel is in the biological laboratory. Head there before you proceed. Now, I can finally rest. Father. Elijah Manor is deceased. Gillian, let's go. Random. I am Random Hajile, a wretched bounty hunter, and Petrovich's son. I know, Random. Let's go and save Jamie. That is to say, I will go alone. You hurt your arm, and you don't have a weapon. Call for reinforcements. We won't get anywhere with only the two of us. What a random name. Indeed. If I fail, contact the KSDF and tell them to launch a nuclear missile at this place. I don't like being ordered around, you know. Well, then find yourself another job. that conversation there at the end feels a little bit out of place compared to everything else. Contact the KMFDM? KMFDM? What would that be?